Thank you, Mark. As mentioned, I'm joined with the one and only Mike Robinson, one of the busiest men I know, but you had a nice little bye week this past weekend.
Yeah, definitely had a bye week. Got the opportunity to watch my youth football team go get their first W. So it's been nice to still keep up with football, and I'm excited just about Rocket football coming back to the Glass Bowl this weekend. It's exciting.
It is. And they had that tough week 1 matchup against University of Kentucky. Not ideal having the bye week 2, but with Mitch Guadagni going down in their first game, it gave him a little more time to recoup and hopefully be ready for Saturday.
Yeah, you know what? I think Mitch he did everything he was supposed to. I listened to the presser from Coach Candle this weekend. He talked about exactly, what happened to Mitch Guadagni on that play. He got hurt because he was sliding and doing exactly what he was supposed to do. And that's happened to him a couple times. So it's kind of unlucky from the football guys saying, hey, this is just what it is. But now you got to worry about the backup's mind being ready. Carter Bradley, we don't know if he's ready to go or not, but he's going to be the guy if Mitch can't go, right? So if he's going to step in, this team is going to have to take the leadership of this young quarterback, and he's going to have to do the heavy lifting, not just for a half, but the whole game.
At home, in front of home fans, a little extra pressure maybe just coming back to the Glass Bowl against a Murray State team who kind of had a similar week 2 compared to UT's week 1. They were at Georgia this last week. Started out strong just like Toledo did.
So back down in Georgia and Athens, one thing I liked about this team is how well they played. They played 2 quarters really, really hard. But guess what? When you go down against the number 1 team in the nation and they got some of the best people in the country, I'm talking about they have number 1 prospect at left tackle. I mean, they got 3 kids that's going to get drafted in the first round. This is serious football. This is a team that's not even Division I, FBS, so they can't even compete for a national title. And this team in Georgia probably would. So the parity is a little bit different, as in Toledo, coming out the MAC, going against an SEC team, a lower-tier SEC team. They had a chance to go in there and win it. But, the recruits are a little bit different. The game's a little bit bigger. The stadium's bigger. And, and it's a little bit hotter down there as well. So I think that Toledo's going to be okay, and they should take care of this team this weekend.
3 things that you need to see out of UT to make sure they secure the win on Saturday.
Control the turnovers. That's the first thing. One thing that Coach Jason Candle talks about all the time is protecting the football. And if anybody got to keep the ball in their hand, it's the running back. Brian Koback fumbling the football. That was rough, and that's something that he's had troubles with at the end of last season, but that's not something that he's going to continue to keep up. We watched him here in high school on BCSN do a lot of good things here. But guess what? This is a kid that's going to run all over this team this weekend, not taking anything away from this team because they're physical, they're fast, and they're tough. And that's one thing that the Georgia coaches said we can't take away from this Murray State team. They came out and challenged us. So that's my first tip.
And offensively for Murray State, their quarterback couldn't have really asked for a better day.
I mean, when you talk about Murray State, going 20 for 25 down there in Georgia, I believe this kid's name is Preston Rice. He is really good, big physical kid. Now, this is something that Toledo has problems with here and there is a running quarterback. He's not a running quarterback, but he's a big guy, he's stocky, and he doesn't go down. You're going to have to put 2 or 3 bodies on him. You saw Terrence Taylor get 1 sack last week. That's not going to cut it. We need Jamal Hines get in there. We need Nate Childress in the backfield. We need Darlo Blue in the backfield. We need Saeed Holt in the backfield. We got to make tackles and make plays for this Toledo Rockets team. Having 1 sack last week is not going to cut it because this team, they only got 23 total rushing yards, but we really got to control the line of scrimmage and dominate if we're going to win the MAC.
Coming off of that bye week, they had, I think, Thursday and Friday off to kind of regroup, and then they're back at it this week focusing on Murray State. How do you make sure that, it's week 3 technically, their second week, they don't have a break from here on out?
No, it's over. They're going to have to play Ironman football for the rest of the season. One thing that you're going to hear from Jason Candle is how he always talks about his team and being prepared. Jason isn't one of the guys that look at these games and say, hey, this is a game we're going to walk past. He's going to prepare for this team as if they're Kentucky. He's going to prepare for them as if they're Ohio State and so forth for the next opponent. So this team's going to come in here locked and loaded. Bryce Mitchell's going to have a big game. He's a hometown kid. Everyone's looking over their shoulder like, hey, we want to see Bryce Mitchell do some things. It's a lot of pressure on this Rocket team. You saw a lot of guys go to the NFL. You get to see them on Sundays now. But the cool thing is it's so many more of these kids on this roster here, but it's got to start up front with the offensive line play. Offensive line got to do their job and create holes for Brian Koback. And defensively, I really want to see how they bounce back and get sacks and get in the backfield because they can't let a Murray State's offensive line hold them down because that means we're going to have trouble going against Bowling Green, Northern Illinois, and so on and so forth. So they should really dominate.
A little extra excitement just being the home opener, under the lights, a nice late start. What do you look to see out of the Glass Bowl on Saturday?
I expect to see the Glass Bowl packed, full of Toledo citizens, ready to go and watch Toledo football. This is one of the best things we have in this area. a traditional school, 1879 or whatever UT started around, but football's been played in the Glass Bowl for a long time, over 100 years. We want to see the Glass Bowl packed out. We want to see the Rockets come out here and make, some explosions, big plays. We want to see big explosive plays because that's what the Rockets have to get back to. When you had Deontay Johnson, Logan Woodside, you'll see big plays all across the offense. Now this is the year where you got to find it in different areas. You got guys who aren't known. They got to step up, but you know what? They are known around here because you have about 12 guys that's local. So everyone wants to see those guys step up and make plays for this Rocket football team, and I do too, because on the sidelines, it gets exciting when you see the Rockets start to win.
Who do you have this week kind of surprising people?
Like I said, it's got to start with the quarterback. I look at it and say, if anybody, it's going to be Mitch Guadagni. If he can come back on the field, everyone's going to be surprised. And it's going to be a good surprise because he's the best quarterback in the program right now. And if he can go on the field and do what he has to do, he was 10 for 12 or had put up good numbers before he ended up getting injured. So the best thing about it is you got someone with experience. He understands the offense. He's a tough physical kid. And when he's on the field, the game has changed. The game is different. You saw the Rockets march down on that first drive and get a touchdown in Kentucky and silence that crowd. It was deafening, and then they got real silence because the Rockets did their job. They have to do the same thing, and they have to keep the energy up. So that's why I want to see the Rockets fans show up, because when they showed up for that Miami game last year, guess what? That place was rocking. Although we lost, we took one on the chin, but that's the excitement that this city needs to have, and that's what the Rockets are going to need to take them through the rest of the season.
All right, well, hopefully next Tuesday we're sitting here talking about a Rockets home opening win. Mike Robinson, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Mark, we'll send it back to you.